Hey guys, Seth Fuller, your favorite lawyer here to talk about a case that has been captivating the nation and the interwebs, specifically the trial of one Ronnie O'Neal. Now, Ronnie O'Neal was accused of killing his longtime girlfriend, their 9-year-old daughter, and attempting to kill his 11-year-old son. Now, his 11-year-old son has recovered and is expected to testify against him. This case started a couple days ago and immediately made the rounds in the national news because Ronnie, like so many idiots before him, has decided to represent himself. Now, he is innocent. That is his constitutional assumption, is that he is innocent until they prove him guilty, and that is by a very high burden, reasonable doubt. However, having decided to represent himself, he has a very tough time, and as we're about to see, we're going to just start watching the video. Probably not well equipped to do so. So let's take a look. And caveat, I'm going to be making jokes, and I understand a little girl is dead, a woman is dead, their families are mourning. I get it, I understand. But we have what's called a little bit of gallow humor. I do this stuff regularly. I represent murderers, I represent victims, I represent a wide variety of people that you see the grossest, craziest things, and the only way that I can get through it is through joking about it and making light about the points that are to be made light of. But understand this, I'm not making light of the death of anybody here. It is a serious matter, and as is this trial against this young man. But this is an adult, this Ronnie O'Neal, and so making fun of him a little bit for the choices he makes, to me, is fair game. So without further ado, let's take a look at this video. Okay, so first and foremost, kudos on wearing a suit, Mr. O'Neal. You've done what probably 10% of defendants won't even do, which is appear presentable at your trial, and I'm glad you were able to advocate for yourself and wear a suit. I think every defendant should be allowed a suit, and I almost think it should be mandatory. I hate when defendants show up in court in the orange jumpsuit, but in most places that is unheard of. When you actually go to a jury trial, while you may show up to the other hearings in a jumpsuit, you show up to court in a suit, as long as someone will provide you with one, and there are organizations who do that. However, bro, that hair. Look, man, I know there was a barber in jail. I know you could have got that stuff cut. But you decided to come into a jury trial looking like Kodak Black's crackhead cousin, Polaroid Blurple. And while I even kind of like this dude up here, the little towers you got going on, these spikes, I kind of dig it. There's a few loose, but this right here, man, if I didn't know any better, I would say that's a mullet. I mean, like a lock mullet. Is that possible? I don't know. Anyways, you could have fixed that before you came, Mr. O'Neal. Now let's see how you do in your opening statement.
The evidence is going.
For sure, he's trying to channel Denzel Washington, channeling Malcolm X. He's not doing even as good a job as Denzel did. He's no Denzel.
Show that we are under some of the most vicious, fabricating, fictitious government you ever seen.
All right, man, look, I'm going to give you some credit. That's not a bad opening sentence. Putting the screws to the government, I like it. Being proactive, letting them know you're serious. Raising your voice, getting their attention, waking the jury up, none of that is wrong. Good job so far. Now, just from here on out, you can kind of tone it down. You can still take that same tone, just don't need to be screaming at people.
By the time it's all said and done, you will see who is the mass murderer in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida.
Okay, wait, so hold on. They're accusing you of killing your girlfriend, your daughter, and you're trying to kill your son, and you're going with the state of Florida did it? Now, it's my understanding that before this, he has said that his girlfriend had stabbed their children, and he, in self-defense and defense of others, killed her. And I think that, okay, for the heinous crime you're accused of, decent defense, maybe that's really what happened. So let's see if but now he's saying it's the state of Florida. Not good. That's not a good way. You're not going to get the jury on your side there. You can't muddle whose fault it is. If you're going for it's the girlfriend's fault, you have to stick with that, man.
That law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof.
All right, again, you're going with the whole state thing, and I kind of get it, but you gotta stop. You gotta let the jury know what's happening. Look, here's the important part, and this is for any attorney, any opening statement. You need to let the jury know what they're going to hear. You need to promise them that they are going to hear reasonable doubt. And then through your trial, you need to deliver with that promise, and then you need to wrap it up at the end. That's what you need to do with any good jury opening and closing and the whole trial. You need to say you're going to deliver something, deliver it, and then at the end, that's the most important thing.
But originally, I called 911 without even knowing she called 911 during her call. But the evidence is going to show.
All right, first of all, you're still yelling, bro. Now you need to stop it. You're going to lose the jury. I understand this is your life, and so maybe they'll get that. But most importantly, what you haven't done, what you're missing out on, is you have not yet told them what had happened. Again, the point is, this is your opening statement. You're saying the evidence is going to show that they tampered with all this stuff. Why? Why did they do that? What this jury wants to hear from you is that Kenyatta killed your kids and you killed her. Okay, that's what the jury wants to hear. We haven't heard that yet.
That your representatives and law enforcement, local law enforcement, wanted to make it seem like I'm some kind of menace to society, and I ran after killing Kenyatta Barron, knowing that authority was on the way to kill my own children. I wonder why I would do something like that for no reason. And I'm standing here competent as can be, representing myself today.
Okay, so now you've declared yourself competent. That's no good if you want to appeal. Honestly, that's another reason you have an attorney, is because then maybe when you're sentenced to death that you can then appeal it. But more importantly, again, you're saying, why am I doing this? Why are they doing this? They're framing me. You're giving the jury a lot of questions, which is okay. You got to set that up, but you cannot leave them hanging that long. You have to give them the answer. And the answer is Kenyatta was stabbing my kids, so I killed her. That's the answer. Or Kenyatta had stabbed my kids, I confronted her, she tried to kill me, I killed her in defense. Something like that. That's what the jury needs to hear. You can't keep going like this and not give the jury that. Now, let me tell you something. I know what you're saying. This is what a defense attorney would do. He's actually doing a pretty good job as a defense attorney. But as a defense attorney, I can use the fact that you have a constitutional right to remain silent. The defendant does. And the way I use that is I say that he doesn't want to subject himself to questioning like me. Look, I'm just going to tell you this. Nobody wants to face a guy like me or that prosecutor. That prosecutor in this court, that prosecutor has had hundreds of trials before he gets to a double murder trial. He's cross-examined thousands of people. He is an expert on it. He's trained on it. He goes through training every year. And nobody wants to go against either any kind of experienced attorney. as a layperson. And so we have that right for someone to remain silent so that they don't feel that they have to defend themselves because the state is supposed to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. However, if you're going to represent yourself, all that's out the window. Now the jury will demand to hear, where they can't use it against you if you're my defendant sitting down here on the table being quiet. Once you get in front of you, they are going to demand to hear you speak. And it's going to be an okay demand because they know you're not shy, they know you're not mixed up, and you're the one who chose to represent yourself and who's delivering this passionate speech. You're screaming at them. Now tell them what happened.
I'm asserting justifiable homicide because I acted in self-defense and moved to protect myself and my children from Kenyatta Barron. I'm going to be showing with evidence several reasonable reasons to doubt the state's allegations against me.
Wait, stop. That was it. There it was. He's saying he's asserting self-defense and defense of others. That's good. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, bro, you have to then tell them about that self-defense. Give them the story that you're going to give. It had to be harrowing, right? If this lady stabbed your daughter to death and then stabbed your son what you probably thought was to death and then tried to stab you and you had to kill her, that had to be harrowing. You haven't told that to anybody yet. You have to relay this to the jury, and you can relay this to the jury in opening that this is the evidence going to show that Kenyatta Barry killed my daughter. All of that. What are you doing, man? This is why you gotta have a lawyer. This guy is cooking himself. He's done, man. He's done. If he doesn't turn it around in the next 10 minutes, the jury, he's already lost the case.
I responded out of pure instinct and heat of passion.
No, stop. This is why you need an attorney. Now you're throwing out more. You're just throwing out all the defenses. But you don't need heat of passion if you're defending others. That's good enough, I promise you. If this lady was trying to kill your kids and you killed her, there's not a jury in the nation that would convict you for that, if you can prove that. But you haven't even told them that that's what they're going to be expecting.
Anything that I may have said, they exacerbated it and made me say it consecutively over and over like Allahu Akbar, which I may have said once or twice. But they wanted to make me seem like a terrorist. And so you hear it 8 or 9 times, and you hear me calling Kenyatta Barron a bitch and a whore.
Whoa, bro. So they added extra Allah Akbars. Well, while you're killing your family, too many? I mean, I don't understand what the conspiracy there is to make you look like a terrorist. Nobody's saying you're a terrorist. You killed 2 people you're supposed to love. And then you forgot to follow up after you said I called her those horrible names. You forgot to follow up with like, but I didn't, or but they made it up. I mean, that was kind of your point, and I get it, but you just left that one hanging. That these are the things that you can't do when you're facing the death penalty.
That same CRA will have the statements of Khalil Brown saying that he saw me take 3 strikes with that shotgun and nothing else.
All right, maybe I take that back because, yeah, that's you left that one wide open, and right now that jury is thinking, wait, what? You shot somebody 3 times, but what is it, a miscount or what?
The evidence is going to show that Mr. Harmon here says that that big chunk missing out of her arm was a bird shot. It was not a bird shot. And whatever kind of shot it was, if it was a slug shot or a bird shot, where's the missing pieces of her arm?
What did you just say? Did you just say it wasn't birdshot and gave a little smile and then say birdshot or buckshot? Whoa. No. Dude, you're losing them. You're losing them. You're going down. You're flaming. It's not going well. Pull up. Pull up.
And the evidence will show that my son said my dad shot my mom. Is the correct statement.
Pull up. Mayday. Mayday. We're going down. We're going down. Left engine. All engines out. Mayday. Pull up. Pull up. What you just witnessed was that judge watching this guy convict himself. That was that little smile. She's like, can only get worse.
Because I acted in self-defense and moved to protect myself and my children.
Okay, there it is. That's it. All right, here we are. 18 minutes in. 10 minutes left. Now we're going to hear it, right? Now you do it, dude. Tell the jury what happened. You're asserting justifiable homicide. Now let them know what the evidence is going to show actually happened. Not what the police say happened. What the evidence is going to show actually happened.
Or deny me the right to premeditatedly kill Kenyatta Barron if she killed my children.
Hold on, there it is. 2 seconds. We are 20 minutes in, and in 2 seconds, he's just now letting the jury know what the defense is, that she tried to kill his children. He has not mentioned that yet. This is the first real time.
She also was born premature, just like Ronnie.
Judge, I object at this point.
I'm going to sustain the objection as to that particular argument regarding Miss Barron being born prematurely. All right? You may continue on, Mr. O'Neill.
I didn't even state the basis of his objection.
I've ruled, Mr. O'Neill, okay?
I understand, but I have to state the basis of my objections, right?
Well, that is correct, and I just assume what the objection is. So go ahead and state it for the record, Mr. Harmon.
Proper argument.
That's sustained.
Okay, Ronnie. Okay. Did y'all see that? He schooled the judge. The judge was ready. The prosecutor improperly objected, didn't state the basis of his objection. The judge, in my opinion, wrongfully sustained the objection. And then he says, well, I don't have to state the basis of my objections. And the judge is like, oh, yeah, I assume. Man, that's one. Ronnie, one. That was good. You got it.
Evidence will show that my daughter was prematurely born. She was autistic. My son Ronnie was diagnosed at the age of 3 with developmental delay and had the history of SLD. The evidence will also show that he was present but does not remember accurately or consistently what happened for many reasons.
Okay, let me stop there. The jury probably hates you now. You can't go talking about your daughter's autism and stuff without tying it into anything, because that's not going to go well. If you're saying that's why the mom was frustrated with the kids and that's why she killed them, then there you go, but you have to tie that in. Let's see if you can tie it back together. Get it back on track.
When he told you that he was adopted, by his family members, which didn't work out as well, and he had to be placed with another family, which is now the Blair family. In that same report, it talked about how he may have been coached by family members.
This is important, and I'm glad he's at least touching on this. This does happen, coaching of young children by people who assume they know the truth and are trying to help people out. It does happen, and it is a thing, and it can be brought out on cross-examination and through evidence. So I like where this was going. I wish he would have talked about it more and, again, done some of the other things I suggested. But so far, I like this line.
The evidence is going to show that my son was adopted by a detective who formerly worked in this case.
Whoa, if that's true, that's pretty crazy. Why would you do that? I mean, you can find options for a kid. I don't know what's going on there, but if that's the truth, that's pretty crazy. Don't give the guy like this ammunition by having a detective. I can't say it is true, but if it is, that's bizarre. And here we are, 3 minutes left. Ronnie still hasn't talked about what actually happened. Ronnie still hasn't recounted his events, what he's going to testify to, which is evidence. He's cooked. He's done. He failed. You know, at this point, I don't believe him, and I'm more open-minded than your average juror. So, yeah, as of right now, unless what he does in trial is tremendously, like, way better than what he did here in opening. If he's under-promising and over-delivers is the only way that he's getting out of this alive.
And ultimately, it will show that none of the state's witnesses can draw any conclusions, especially because they didn't see anything that refutes my self-defense claim and theory. And nor can the state do so beyond their very reasonable doubts that will be revealed. The very reasonable doubts that will be revealed by me. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, so he ran out of steam there. Come on, Ronnie, you were like out of 10 here. And then for your final statement, you brought it down here. Again, you never explained what you did. You worried about the reasonable doubt thing, but that wasn't your opportunity. Your opportunity as a defendant lawyer is to tell your side of the story in opening and say that that's what the evidence is going to show, because testimony is actual evidence. You did not give that. So the only chance you have, you're smoked. Right now, you're sitting there, you're a dead man walking. Unless you under-promised here and you're going to overperform and you got some blockbuster stuff, which your son's testimony is tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. But in my opinion, as you stand there, I didn't believe you. I don't think the jury believed you. You said some things that turned the jury completely away from you. And you seemed like you were a scumbag trying to get out of a loophole. I'm just going to be honest with you. So right now, as you stand, you're dead man walking, you're smoked. I'll try to follow this, keep y'all updated, and go as we go. Tomorrow is the testimony of the young man. So I'll cover that, and thanks for watching. Again, subscribe. It'll help you get these next videos. I'll try to keep up with this and do a video on each day maybe. But again, I'm going to be going on summaries because I don't have all day to sit around and watch trials. But I'll try to keep up with it, watch the main things, and give you my take as an attorney. Go visit Patel Fuller. Again, subscribe, like if you like. I don't really care. I enjoy doing these because some people tell me that it helps them. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next video.